All right, friends, go ahead, if you would, please, and hop to your activities. You have an activity titled, Choose Your Original Fairy Tale to Fracture. Choose your original fairy tale to fracture. Today, you are going to make the choice of which fairy tale are you going to make your comic about. Okay, so just like we've been studying, we're going to change the fairy tales in a way. You get to make that change, and you're going to decide, are you going to change Jack and the Beanstalk? Are you going to change the Three Little Pigs? Are you going to change Little Red Riding Hood? Okay, if you have another idea of another fairy tale you know well, you can run it by me, but I want most of you to focus on one of those three since we've studied them so well. Okay, all right. It says, with your teacher, create a class fractured fairy tale together and outline it on slide 1. Read the directions on slide 2, and then there's going to be some independent work. Go ahead and click on that add response. All right, slide 1. This says, as a class, choose a fairy tale that you would like to fracture. Orally retell the original version of the fairy tale. Then come up with a fractured version as an example and record it on the graphic organizer. Finally, be thinking about how you are going to fracture a fairy tale on your own. Okay? All right, so we are going to fracture Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay? That's what we're going to do as a class. You can choose whatever you want. As a class, we're going to do Jack and the Beanstalk. So let's do an oral retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk. How does Jack and the Beanstalk begin? The original version. What's going on at the beginning, Terrence?
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, and then what?
There was a boy named Jack.
Beautiful. So we've got our once upon a time, we've got our character. Okay, so once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. What happened with Jack at the very beginning of the story? What did he have to do? What did Jack have to do at the beginning of that story? Leah, what did Jack have to do?
He had to sell the cow to get money.
Yes, his mom said, go sell the cow. We need money so that we can eat. So once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. His mother told him to sell the family cow so they could get money. But what did Jack do instead of getting money? Levin.
Can we say whatever we want to say?
You're going to get to. We're going to tell the original version right now. What's the original version? Okay. So
he saw an old man that stopped him from going to the flea market, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, here, I'll give you these jelly beans for that cow. He said, okay.
Excellent. So once upon a, go ahead.
Then they made a deal, and Jack said, can we make a deal? If those don't work, can I get my cow back? And he said, yeah.
Excellent. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. His mother told him to sell the cow for money, but an old man stopped him and said, I'll trade you these magic beans instead. Jack wanted a deal to make sure they worked, and they made a deal. Then what happened next? Terrence, what happened after he got the beans?
His mother, he brought them home to his mother, and his mother said, what are these 5 little beans? And he said, they're magic beans.
Did she believe him?
No.
She did not believe him. So mom is now mad. Mom said, we need money to eat. You got 5 beans. Now we can't eat. Okay, so mom's mad. All right, mom's mad. She throws the beans out. Braden, what happens the next day?
He goes up and, well, the next day they grow, but yeah, the next day they growed huge, and then he decided to go up it, and then there was a house.
Excellent. So the next day they throw the beans, they go up the beanstalk, and sure enough, there is a house up there. What does Jack discover in the house, William?
He discovers a giant and his wife.
A giant and the giant's wife. And what does the giant want to do to Jack?
The giant wants to eat Jack.
Uh-oh, dun, dun, dun. The giant wants to eat Jack. While Jack is hiding in the giant's house, what does he discover? Jack finds something. Levin, what is it?
Dad's belongings.
His dad's stuff, right? So now we figure out where Dad's been. So far we have, once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. His mom said, sell the cow to get money. But Jack traded the cow for magic beans. Mom got mad and threw him out. The next day, the beans worked. And there is a giant beanstalk going all the way up to the clouds where Jack discovers a giant's house. The giant wants to eat Jack, so Jack hides. And while he's hiding, he figures out that the giant has stolen his dead dad's things. So what does Jack do? What does he do? Q, what does Jack do with the things that the giant stole?
He takes them back.
He took them back. And he gets back down the beanstalk. And then he and his mom, what's going on at the end? What's happening at the end of Jack and the Beanstalk? Yes, Aiden G.
He's not poor anymore.
They're not poor anymore. There was a lot of gold up in there. Okay? They're not poor. The giant, however, does not like that his stolen things were stolen. So what does the giant do? Terrence?
No, before they got the money, when they got the money, they chopped down the beanstalk.
And the giant?
Died.
No more giant, right? Okay, so that's our retelling of the original version of Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay, now, everybody raise your right hand. Say, I am going to watch this. Now say, I am not going to type this. Okay, put your hands down. So you've all just promised me, I am going to create my fractured version for our class. This is an example. This is not your comic. Okay, so you're not typing on slide 1. Your slide 1 will stay blank. Capiche? Capiche. Okay, here we go. Thank you. All right, so we're going to change Jack and the Beanstalk. We've just told the regular old Jack and the Beanstalk. Here's what's going to be different about ours. Once upon a time, ooh, hold on. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm not going to tell you the fractured version yet because you guys have to tell your original version. Okay, so just like we just did. Pause, rewind. Okay, we just retold Jack and the Beanstalk. Now you're going to choose what fairy tale do you want to fracture. So this is the fairy tale that you're going to create on Pixton. Okay, you're going to be working with it for the next week and a half. So make sure it's a fairy tale that you can do that with. Okay, hop to slide 2. You will begin planning your own fractured fairy tale. First, you must choose the original fairy tale that you are going to change or fracture in a new way. You're going to retell the original version on the next slide. Okay? You can choose from the 3 Little Pigs, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Little Red Riding Hood. If you have another fairy tale that you know that you're wanting to fracture, you can call me into your room and tell me what it is, and I will give you an okay. But I want you to try to choose from the 3 Little Pigs, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Little Red Riding Hood. Okay? So right now, you're going to choose your regular old, plain, no changes at all fairy tale. Okay? Levin, a question.
gonna be in a group with other people?
No, this part is going to be by yourself. And it's going to be quick because we already know these fairy tales, right? You're just telling me what the regular old version is.
But
Okay.
can we use Mrs. Cadowitz because we don't still try to, since we don't have all the
Yes,
background.
you're going to be in Miss Cadowitz's class creating it. She's given me access, so you will have every single thing Pixton has to offer.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, Aiden G.
That was just from earlier.
Gotcha. All righty. Okay. Look at slide 3. You are getting ready to fill out slide 3 about the original fairy tale. Okay, original version. So you are going to tell me, once upon a time, write the characters' names, write the setting, write the magic, beginning, middle, and end.
There's magic.
Problem, solution, and how it ends. Okay, you can do this with pictures or words. Okay, so if you want to, like if I was doing Jack and the Beanstalk and in the middle I wanted to draw the beanstalk going up to the sky, and then I wanted to show, put it in the sky, view, 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 view. And then over here I wanted to show the house. You can do it like this too. Okay, so you can show pictures or words, but you need to make sure that I know what fairy tale you're doing. Okay, I can also do words. I can say it was Jack. I can say it was the giant. I can say it was mom. Okay, any questions about what you're getting ready to do? Yes, Leah.
Why are there crowns on the characters and settings?
It's just the graphic that they chose. It's a goofy graphic. I think because normally fairy tales will have a royalty or a talking animal, and they just focused on royalty here. Yes, Levin.
Now that I'm realizing this, not both of the giants died, just one.
You're right. The wife was not bad.
So
Okay. All right. So you are going to write this about your original fairy tale. So tell me straight up what happened in the Three Little Pigs, or what happened in Jack and the Beanstalk, or what happened in Little Red Riding Hood. Just tell it to me straight. Okay. All right. I'm going to put you in a breakout room by yourself. Let's go with 6 or 7 minutes. I'll watch your screens. I'll see how far we are. We're going to go with 6 or 7 minutes. Levin, a question.
why do we have a slide 3 on independent and slide 5 on independent?
We're going to talk about that next. Don't jump ahead. Okay. All right. Yes, Daniel.
I didn't really hear you. Did you say that we can do any one we want, or we have to do the Jack and the Beanstalk?
You can choose any fairy tale that you want that we've studied. It does not have to be Jack and the Beanstalk.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Leah.
Are we doing the original or ours?
The original version. So on slide 3, right here, it says original version. Okay. All right. Here you go into your breakout rooms. We're going to do 6 or 7 minutes. So we'll be back at either 9:06 or 9:07, and you need to have slide 3 done. Who are the characters? What's the setting? Is there magic? What's the beginning, middle, and end? What was the problem? How is it fixed? And what does it end with? Okay. Here you go. So what you should have done is you should have just told me the original version of the fairy tale that you're going to fracture, okay? How it is in its plain old regular normal form. So our class is doing Jack and the Beanstalk as an example, okay? Begins with once upon a time. Our characters are Jack, the giant's wife, and mom. The setting is Jack's house and the giant's castle. The magic was the magic beans and the golden goose that laid golden eggs. We've also got a beginning where Jack's mother told him he needs to sell the cow, but he traded it for beans. The beans sprouted up to the clouds, and Jack climbed up. There was a giant living there who had stolen his dad's things. And at the end, Jack and his mom got his dad's things back, and they cut down the beanstalk, and the giant fell and died. Ooh. The problem, the giant wanted to eat Jack and stole his dad's stuff. The solution, Jack's dad got his dad's stuff back and they killed the giant. It ends with happily ever after. Okay? The title of the original fairy tale that I am doing is Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay? This is our class version. You should have your own one that you chose. If you chose Jack and the Beanstalk, cool. If you chose the Three Little Pigs, cool. If you chose Little Red Riding Hood, cool. Okay? All right. Now pause. Yes, Terrence.
You forgot like where, can you go back to slide 3?
I can.
You forgot the caption, like to say the next day, cause you just went like that was the same day.
You're right. This is just a summary. This is just like a notes page. It doesn't have to be extremely detailed. It's just to help you remember. Okay. But if that helps you remember, put it on there. Okay. All right. Now we're back to the right hand promise. I promise I will not type what Miss Sousa is going to type. I will just watch. Okay. Don't believe me, just watch. Ooh. All right. We're just watching. Okay. Everybody with me? So hands off. No, Miss Sousa, you're going too fast. I can't keep up. You're not typing this. Okay. All right. As a class, we're going to change we're going to change Jack and the Giant Beanstalk into a fractured version. Okay. So our characters, now I've done this a few times, kiddos, believe it or not, I've taught this for 7 years. Our characters are still going to be Jack, still going to be the giant, still going to be mom, but also, dun da da da, Miss Sousa is in the story. And Miss Sousa is a superhero. Okay. So Mrs. Sousa is also molecular. Okay. Molecular is my superhero name. All right. So there's my characters. So I'm changing Jack and the Beanstalk now. Okay. Our setting is going to be the same. Okay. I don't want that kind of, hold on. There we go. Our setting is going to be the same. The setting is still at Jack's house. Oops. Jack's house, and it is also still at the giant's house. I'm not changing the setting. Okay. So you do not have to change everything about your fractured fairy tale. All right. In the original version, they're at Jack's house in the giant's castle. In this version that I'm telling, they're at Jack's house in the giant's castle. Okay. The magic is going to still be the beans and Mrs. Sousa's superpowers are also magic, like Dr. Strange, because that's the best superhero. I know that's not a popular choice, but that's fine. It's what I believe. Okay, so Mrs. Sousa's superpowers are also magic. Are you tracking with me how I'm changing this? Okay. Yes, Terrence.
Dr. Strange is strange.
You're correct.
Something about him.
He is strange. All right. In the beginning of my fairy tale is actually the same. Okay. Jack has to sell the cow for money and trades it for beans instead. Okay? My fairy tale begins the exact same way. All right? I need that same problem in order for my fairy tale to make sense. So when I'm on Pixton, I'm going to create the regular old plain Jack and the Beanstalk beginning. Okay? The middle is where things are going to start to get interesting. Okay? The middle is where Molecular, and again, that's my superhero, so I'm flying through the clouds. Okay? Molecular spies Jack stealing from the giant and notices the giant has Jack's family things. Dun, dun, dun. So Molecular spies this problem while she's flying through the clouds, and she says, oh no, we can't let people steal, and we also can't let people re-steal. Okay, we got to fix this. So that's where my superhero is, or my fairy tale starting to change. Okay. In the end, Molecular uses her mind powers to bind Jack and the giant's emotions together so they understand each other. Hold on, I'm going to make this smaller so you can see it. So they understand each other. Jack and the giant apologize, and the giant gives Jack's family their things back. Jack promises to visit the giant so he is not lonely in the clouds. Okay? That's how my fairy tale is different. Are you tracking with me? Questions so far? Yes, Braden.
I don't have a question. I just want to say there's going to be a lot of typing in this half of a week.
It is. You're correct. Yes, William.
How is he going to be lonely if he has a wife?
Notice I don't have Giant's wife as my character. Yes, Terrence.
Still, but why didn't you, like, you didn't put in caption?
This isn't my comic. This is my planning page. When I get on Pixton, I'm going to add captions.
But why can't we put it?
You can put it. If you need it on your planning page to make sense in your brain, go for it. Okay? Yes, Tim.
When will we get on Pixton for our comic book, and how many pages does it need to have?
You will get the pages information next week, and you will be approved to work on Pixton once you have gotten your approval on your plan from me. So just like Mint Mobiles, how you got to get approved before I give you the next step, you got to do the same thing here. So you got to have your plan, and I got to approve it before you get to create it on Pixton. Okay? Yes, Terrence.
Like, why did you bind that? Like, they're not supposed to do that. Or, well, they didn't agree. Like, the giant may eat the little kid.
But not in my version. I have control over that. So I just told my version. In the original version, you might be right. But in my version, I changed that. Okay, so that's an example of a change I created. Yes, Tim.
I kind of forgot the Three Little Pigs story, but again.
You have it on Seesaw. That's why we took notes on them this week. So you can go to your Seesaw activities and you can scroll down to the activity about the Three Little Pigs and you can review your work. So right there. Okay. That's one of the reasons we did that. So I'm glad it's going to be of use. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of rehash. My problem is Molecular doesn't want Jack and the giant to fight and steal from each other. Okay, that makes her sad. She doesn't like to see people fighting. She doesn't like to see people not getting along. The solution is she helps them use empathy to understand each other. Okay, that's how my solution happens. And of course, my fairy tale, like all fairy tales, is going to end with, and they lived happily ever after. Okay? So you are getting ready to outline your change of a fairy tale. Hop to slide 4. I lied. Hop to slide 5. We're going to skip over that. Hop to slide 5. You are going to plan how you will fracture the original fairy tale that you chose. Okay? Remember, this must be your own creation, and you cannot copy a version we already have. Okay? So I did not go write Jack and the Nanobots with the space station. Okay? That's copying. That's not creating. If I did 3 Little Pigs, my 3 Little Pigs aren't going to have ninja superpowers because that's copying. Okay? So you're coming up with a new idea that hasn't been done before. Okay? You can change, take a look down here. You can change your fairy tale by making one of the characters a superhero. You can add yourself as a character. You can change the ending. You can create a different problem, like in the Little Red Riding Hood, where originally the wolf wanted to eat grandma. In the fractured version, the wolf wanted to kidnap grandma. So you can create a different problem. You can also tell the story as a different character. So instead of it being about Jack, it might be about the giant. Or instead of it being about the 3 Little Pigs, it might be about the wolf. Okay? So you're going to change your fairy tale in some way. Are there questions about how you can make changes? Yes, Camille.
We can put our own character in.
You can. You can add your own character inside of the fairy tale if you'd like. Okay? All right. You're getting ready to hop into a breakout room with people. I want you to tell your idea for how you're going to change your fairy tale. Okay? So are you going to make a character a superhero? Are you going to change the ending? Are you going to add a character? Are you going to change the problem? How are you going to change your comic fairy tale? Okay? You're going to go share your ideas with your breakout room. Any questions before you do that? Yes, Terrence.
Are we gonna be in a breakout room after to get ideas?
You're getting your ideas right now. You're sharing ideas and listening to each other's ideas.
No, like when we actually do our story.
Your story is going to be independent because it's your creation. So this is your fractured version is your creation. So that's going to be independent, but you can get ideas now. Okay. Yes, Aiden G.
Can I show you my slide 3? Because I did what you said and added those speech bubbles. And when they each talk, I put like that highlight speech bubble. Then I put it on there, then put my words inside.
Awesome.
To make it look like they're really talking.
I see it when you turn it in. I'm excited. I love the creativity. All right, friends. Go share. How are you going to change your fairy tale? What part of it are you going to fracture? Okay, here we go. Okay, You have shared your ideas with a partner for how you were going to change or fracture your fairy tale. Maybe you even heard some ideas from other people that you're like, ooh, I could try that too. Okay. So I want you to check out on the 5th, right here. Yes, I apologize. On the 5th, how you will fracture the original fairy tale you chose. Okay, remember, this must be your own creation and may not copy a version we already had. Okay, right here, I want you to write the title of your fractured version. So to follow our class example, our version is going to be molecular, oops, typey. There we go. Molecular Jack and the Giant. So I changed my title to match the characters that are going to be in it. Okay, Molecular Jack and the Giant. You are going to be writing here your version. Okay, what are you going to change and what are you going to keep the same? You're going to fill this out with that information. Notice this has been color coded. Your characters, your setting, your magic, your problem, and solution are pink. Look down here at the pink. These need to be words, okay? I want to be able to read the names of your characters. I want to read where your setting's going to be. I want to read if you've got magic. I want to read the problem. I want to read the solution, okay? Your beginning, middle, and end are yellow. Look at the yellow. You may draw the beginning, middle, and end. So if you want to get some practice with your comic skills, you can draw the beginning, middle, and end. Everything else I want in words, okay? This is your independent task today. Tomorrow, you are going to get with a breakout room partner and you are going to check your partner's work to see if they created a new version, if they kept characters the same, if they had a setting, if they had a beginning, if they had a middle, if they had an end, and if they had magic or talking animals, okay? So today, you're finishing slide 5. Tomorrow, you're going to check someone's on slide 6. Questions over your assignment and what you're going to do. Yes, Levin.
Can we put two stories together?
Yes, that is a way to fracture 2 stories. You can do that.
Okay.
Yes, Terrence.
That you know I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you too, sir. Okay. Slide 5, guys, this is my favorite thing that we do all year. I love seeing your creativity. I love seeing your ideas. I cannot wait to read them, okay? Get slide 5 done. Tell me how you're going to change your fairy tale and click that green button to turn it in. That way I know you're done and I can look at it, okay? All right, friends.